5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, welcome to the Hustle Radio Show, everybody, and thank you guys for tuning in. I'm James Chapman. I'll be your host for today, and of course, I got my people in the building with me as well. I got Mr. Kevin Love, aka KJ. What's good, man?
What's going on? What's up?
What's up? Yeah, and then of course, I got the first lady in the building, the first lady of Hustle Radio in the building with us as well, Miss Tanisha Urban. T, what's going on?
What's good, Chattanooga?
Yeah. So today, y'all, we're gonna be talking about haters.
Do you have any?
This should be an interesting show. I got a few. I got a few haters that we could talk about. As we get a little bit deeper on into the show, I ain't gonna name no names. We're not gonna name no names. Nah, I ain't gonna name drop them. I ain't gonna because I want them to keep hating.
But they know.
They gonna know. They already know. Yeah, they gonna hate this show. They already do hate the show. So it's this is cool though because haters can come in different ways and different forms and different fashions because a hater is just not somebody who is like deliberately hating on you or talking down about it. A hater can be somebody who doesn't believe in your vision, doesn't encourage your dreams, a negative person, a naysayer. Haters can have different looks, and so we just want to let you guys be aware that don't get discouraged by the haters. Don't get discouraged by people telling you that you can't do something or trying to discourage you from chasing your goals because at the end of the day, their opinion really doesn't matter. As long as you believe in your vision, as long as you believe in your dream, and you surround yourself with other people that do as well, it's going to help you get there. Those are the only people that matter. And so we want to make sure that we use the haters as fuel, but we block them out when it comes time for us to get our business done because at the end of the day, it's our legacies that we're chasing after. So before we get too deep into this conversation, let's talk to this one man, KJ, with the quote of the day. What's up, KJ?
What's going on, man? All right, talking about haters. So for me, I think haters never win, right?
Never.
I think that's just the truth about life because negative energy always costs you in the end. And so for me, man, it's just like you gotta put all that energy into disliking somebody or disliking what somebody's doing.
Yep.
And I think in the end, it just costs you because you're missing out on what you can be doing. You can be, doing something for yourself. You can be building your brand. You can be doing something else. Right. But instead, you want to hate on James Chapman. Right. You want to hate on Tanisha Urban because they're going out there doing things, and you just sitting at home, or you too lazy to get up and do something, or it's just I don't know what.
Or you're in a position, or somebody else is in a position that you feel like you should be in.
Yeah, but you ain't put the work in.
But you haven't put the work in to do. A lot of times, that's where it comes from too. That's where
it boils down to the energy. To me, man, I think energy is just too much energy that you're wasting thinking about what somebody else is doing, or just focusing on them in general. Like,
right.
I don't have the time to be focusing on nobody else.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
To me, man, I just think you hindering yourself when you hating on somebody like
right.
that.
Like, what was that Mr. Chief say? I pity the fool. I pity the hater. Because if all you got time to do is hate on me, then, I feel like you slacking in your own personal ambitions department, so.
You may have family, you may have kids, like you may have whatever, but you want to sit back, you want to hate on someone else. Like I said, it's just taking away from what you can be doing, man. You can be prevailing in life, but you want to sit back and hinder yourself by, doing that stuff they call hate.
And you know what? When I came into this show, I was actually thinking about an angle of, trying to encourage the people who get hated on. But you know what? I didn't even think that, the people that are actually doing the hating, they're a victim as well, but they're a victim to themselves.
Exactly.
Because they got so much negative energy inside them, and they're so unsatisfied with where they are in their position or their status.
They're bitter.
And they're bitter. That can you imagine living with that every single day, waking up being negative, because you see what I'm saying? Like I couldn't imagine living a lifestyle like that. And so while this show is also this episode is also to encourage those people who to be hated on, if you have that kind of negative energy, man, and you know that the things that you're putting out into the atmosphere, into the world, don't mean other people well, and you're talking down on people because for whatever the reason may be, you're only doing yourself a disservice. That same energy that you're putting out can be used for good. It could be used to encourage people. It could be used to uplift people. Because what may happen is you can encourage somebody and they can be like, you know what, I really like the way that you encourage me. Let me put you on my team. Help me do this. You know what I mean? And so now the same people that you're hating on, you on the team with them. You know what I'm saying? And y'all both doing great things together.
I think you're gonna need another show to talk about how to motivate a hater to become a player in the game of their life. You know
I think so. So I think because I don't think 30 minutes is enough to talk about both sides of that. And I'm glad that KJ brought that quote up because like that's a serious thing and nobody ever really talks about that. Nobody ever talks about how to encourage the hater to just stop hating and start doing things that's going to be more productive for your life. So I agree with that. We should do another episode, and we will. We'll do another episode on that. I dig that. I dig that. Go ahead.
Well, no, I was just going to piggyback off of that, man. I think it is a lot. You know, when you're talking about that, as we were speaking off air, I think hater is one of the most over-exaggerated words. But I think in the end, it's the truth. It's the truth in a lot. It makes sense in a lot of ways because. People may be hating, they may not even know that they're hating in a sense. They
know. I don't believe that. Well, maybe they don't. Maybe they just so negative. They just don't even know. You're right. I can see that.
I mean, it could be both. I mean, sometimes it just could be a way of life for them.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That negative mentality.
Misery loves company.
Yeah. And you just, they find other people and talk about it and that kind of thing. You know what? What really grinds my gears is when they haven't put KJ mentioned this a little bit, when they haven't put in any work at all and they feel like they should be in a position that someone else in when they haven't even tried to get there. Or sometimes maybe they have tried but they didn't get it. That doesn't mean that you have the right to go out and try to make excuses for why somebody else got it and you didn't. You know what I'm saying? Like, what good is that gonna do? You're sitting up talk like that. That just doesn't. I don't understand it. So I tell you what. Let's go to let's take a quick pause so we can shout out our social media outlets at The Hustle Radio on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. If you want to follow up with this episode in case you can only catch part of it from listening to the radio, we're definitely going to post that on YouTube and SoundCloud. But make sure that you follow us on social media to catch those things. And then also shoot us an email, thehustleradioshow@gmail.com. If you have topics that you want to hear about, if you have suggestions for guests to be on the show, or if you want to come to our late night work sessions called Workaholics. It's happening every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at Causeway. To find out more information about that, just shoot us an email at thehustleradioshow@gmail.com. Okay, so I'm not going to get too far deeper into the haters itself. This show is about encouraging the people who are hating.
Once you finish your spiel, I'll let you, because it's like you got
No, you go. I want you to go. I got some, boy.
Okay, we're going
to go ahead.
Feel the suspense for what James had to get off his chest. But I just want to say that, haters are a harsh reality of life, especially for anyone that's trying to differentiate themselves, like that's trying to do something different. Like if you're trying to go against the grain and kind of, create your own path, then it's just almost like inevitable that you're going to have some haters because you're different. You're doing something that's completely different.
Right.
And so I just want to I found this interesting article on inspirationalperspective.com, and it gives a nice little twist to haters, and it talks about how haters can actually help you. We've heard Cat Williams' thing on haters. It's like, let your haters be your motivators. If you only got 5, find a way to get 10 before the end of the year. And I feel that way. I feel like my haters, let me just say this. I love you all, my haters. You give me so much inspiration. And I thank you so much for all the hate that you give because my love outshines your hate.
Yes.
I thought I'd just say that. Give them something else to hate. Always kill your haters with kindness is my motto. My motto. Okay, here's number 1. Haters may spread bad news about you, but they often inadvertently spread good news too because they're so focused on talking about you that they like, oh, she got her own show. Yeah. Well, yeah, that's a good thing, really. Thanks for promoting me. Exactly. Or they might say, KJ, he just trying to do too much. I heard he working for Tech Town and stuff now. That's, there you go. That's thanks for the pub. Thanks for the publicity. James, he's doing all this stuff. He's got workaholics, all these different locations, multiple days a week. Like, what are you doing? Does he don't have anything else to do? Does he need a 9-to-5 job? But that's free publicity to you. So haters serve a purpose of spreading good and bad news about you. So, consider that. Number two, haters' presence counts too. Your haters are your fans. They're spending a lot of time focusing on what you're doing, even if they're trying to spread in a negative light. It's like they're coming to see your show. So it's like, thanks so much for coming out. Appreciate you. Thanks so much for tuning in. It's basically the mindset you need to have, because they are a fan in a way.
Yep.
You know, they're watching you.
Probably
they're keeping track.
Right.
Really, your biggest fan. And three, haters offer their direct critique for free. So it's really like constructive criticism, because they might have some valid points that you might want to take into consideration and tweak.
Right.
You know, and I know if you ever listened to my show when I first started out, it was kind of rough. You know, I had to find my voice and figure out what I wanted to talk about. And I really took in a lot of constructive criticism.
Right.
I'm sure some of it was kind of word of mouth. Might have been a hater talking about it to someone else that was a friend or a fan of the show.
Right.
But I took that into consideration. So that's absolutely free feedback. And your trusted friends may not have the courage to share that feedback, but a hater is going to be raw and uncut with like what they don't like.
Right.
And so you can always take that into consideration.
So T, I want to touch on one point that you mentioned that I think was great. I do think that there is a difference between constructive criticism and hate. And what we don't want to do is for the people who feel like they've been hated on or that have been hated on, you have to realize the difference between the two, right? If somebody is just trying to tear you down because of what you're doing for no apparent reason, that's one thing. But be mindful that sometimes people may not be hating on you at all. They may just be trying to offer you constructive criticism. Now, their delivery may sometimes come across a little, you know what I mean, a little too strong. And sometimes like, man, why you hating on me? No, I'm not hating on you. I'm just trying to help you, right? Be mindful of those things, because constructive criticism is key. Constructive criticism is only gonna make you better. It's only gonna make you better for the haters and for the fans. No matter what the case may be. And so like just be mindful of those things, because constructive criticism is something that I actually want.
Encourage it.
Yeah, I encourage it. I always want the constructive criticism. Now don't bash me. You know what I'm saying? Don't tear me down or make me feel bad. You know what I mean? It's a certain way that you can go about doing that. But I welcome the constructive criticism.
As you should.
Yeah, and I was going to touch on that as well, man. I just think when somebody is giving you their feedback, man, some people do take it as hate sometimes. It's just, I think it's the culture and just the way everything is right now in society. I think it's
some people just don't like to hear anything negative. They want
people don't like to hear the truth.
Right.
I think that's what it is. People know things. When you talk about certain things, you'll be surprised what people know. But what happens is people tend to don't want to hear the truth, because nobody's probably never told them the truth first. And just hearing it may be a little hard on them, because some people can't take everything. You can't take the reality of things sometimes.
Right.
For me, I'm a realist, so to speak. So for me, I tend to look at everything from a realistic standpoint.
Right.
So if somebody's telling me something, I'm taking it and I'm writing it down, I'm memorizing it so I can critique it. Like you said, you critique it and you make it a little better. So I think haters is I don't think it's going anywhere.
It's not gonna go like that's always gonna be haters.
That's a part of life.
That is a part of life. But one thing, and I'm gonna let you go back to it, KJ too. One thing I want to add is that you have to know that when you're in your own lane, a good friend of mine, was talking about this the other day. When you're in your own lane and you don't let anybody else in, it doesn't matter. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not they can't do anything to affect the path that you're on, because you're in your own lane. So they can try to throw stones in, they can try to yell at you, but at the end of the day, you're in your own lane. And what at the end of the day, what they say, what they do, it really doesn't matter. You know what I mean? As long as everything that you're doing lines up with your vision and where you're headed. Go ahead, KJ.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say you can't let it get you emotional or anything, man. I know for me, man, I really don't tend to care about what anybody says about me personally, because I know the work that I put in, and I know my abilities. And so for anybody that's saying anything about me, it's just it's whatever. Like you said, it's free promotion for me, because you say my name, people probably want to know me from whatever you're talking about.
Right.
And so if you're talking about me in a negative manner, that's fine. I can accept it. I always say you can always trust a person to be themselves, regardless if you're around them or if they're by themselves, or if just to say if you're in a relationship, and people are always cool in the beginning.
Right.
It's always cool in the beginning, because nobody
so
really
it gets a little rocky.
Yeah. But in that instance there, I think what happens is the real them come out eventually.
Right.
So eventually, if that person is, even with haters, I think the real them come out in the beginning. Some haters are the closest people to you. It may be your family members. It may be your best friends. You know, you may have a friend, Tanisha, you don't even know. Tanisha, she thinks she all this now because she got the job and so and so, so and so. And, you know, it's just, you know, like I said,
and
they may not know that they're doing it. They just saying
but
it.
But that's nothing that you want to really, like, spend too much time. This is one message I want to get out. If you feel like you have haters, don't go and try to figure out who they are. Yeah, you stay focused on what you're doing and what you're about, and don't even worry about who it is, who said one. Everything that's done in the dark, I truly, wholeheartedly believe this comes to the light sooner or later. Right. So just keep it moving.
But let me say this: it's gonna hurt when it comes from your friends and your family.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? But because those are the people who you're counting on to be in your corner and support you. Especially like I facilitate this program called Co-Starters, where it's budding entrepreneurs and they're trying to get their ideas off the ground, and I'm coaching them. And this one guy told me, he was like, my parents don't believe in it. My parents think that I should quit. My parents think that I should just get a regular job and just stop this foolishness. They don't see my dream. That is the hardest thing to try to overcome when it's somebody like your parents who brought you into this earth, who don't encourage your dreams.
But you can use that kind of friendly family hate to steam to power your dreams. And I got a quote from Kanye West. I don't know if you guys remember his song Last Call. He says, now I could let these dream killers kill my self-esteem or use my arrogance as the steam to power my dreams. Right. So, you know, from your family perspective, of course you won't want to be arrogant with them, but you can just say, you know, I know mom, them, but if I put all this energy and I make it work, then they'll be able to see. They'll come around and say, well, okay, son, I see what you were talking about. This has really turned out well for you. Right.
You can try to prove it to it, and you prove it to them if they're your friends or family, but prove it to the other people, prove it to the other naysayers that aren't your friends, family. Just use that as fuel. I want to take another quick pause. I know the show's moving really quickly. To just shout out our social media outlets to follow up with us and stay in the know about what we got going on, even outside of the studio in our recordings. And that's The Hustle Radio, at The Hustle Radio, on Facebook, on Twitter, and on Instagram. Or if you want to email us to connect deeper, just email us at thehustleradioshow@gmail.com. You can give us a topic. You can give us suggestions on improvement. You can give us constructive criticism. We welcome that. Email us at thehustleradioshow@gmail.com for constructive criticism. Or if you want to connect with us and work with us on your ideas, come to Workaholics on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday nights. And that's at Causeway, but email us to figure out more information about how to get plugged in on that. All right, go ahead, T. You had something else.
Okay, just a few more points. And that is having a hater means, not actually means, but it proves that you're somebody, because it's impossible to hate on nobody. So kind of take that positive from it. And haters are obsessed with your success. Thus, you can measure your success by how many haters you accumulate. Right. So if you only have a few haters, you know, the bigger you get, the bigger your name, your brand awareness, or whatever, because everyone has a personal brand. Mm-hmm. So the bigger the haters you have, the kind of more you know that you're building success. Right. And then last but not least, having a hater means you must be doing something right. Haters like controversy. If you're failing and completely off track, you won't need a hater to tell you that, because you'll know that. Right. But if you're on the right track, having a hater will kind of let you know that you are, because you have more for them to hate, because you have more successes. Exactly. So it's a good way to even measure yourself. Absolutely. You know what I mean? It's a great way to measure yourself. Haters can be useful.
For the last, we got like 10 minutes or so of the show, I want all three of us to kind of just share personal experiences of, maybe on times that we have been hated on, and how we dealt with it, and how we overcame that a little bit. And I'll start.
Just get it off your chest.
I had a friend come to me and was like, some people were talking about you and da-da-da. They were saying this and they were saying that. And the first thing that came to my mind was, well, why were they so comfortable telling you about it? Yeah. That was the first thing that immediately popped in my mind. I was like, okay, I can deal with, the talk behind my back, because that's going to happen. Why were they so comfortable telling you about it? And then quickly, they, that person let me know. It's like, no. Like, I got up from the table. I told them, like, that's my friend. And I was really disgusted. And they said that later on, they even called that person and was like, yo, we sorry for saying da-da-da-da-da. And so, I was able to get over that. But the things that were said, I prayed about it and I processed it. And I realized that it was because they felt like I didn't deserve the things that I had achieved, that I had worked so hard for. Because the thing about your haters, they don't see how hard you work.
Yeah.
They don't see how, nobody sees how hard you work. The only thing that they see is the fruits from your labor, because they're not supposed to be there at 2 a.m. when you're writing business plans and you're trying to perfect your craft and you're doing your research and all of that things. And so for them, it's gonna look like it came overnight. It's gonna look like it's been handed to you when you start receiving these things. And they may say, well, why didn't I get this? I'm not gonna lie. I've had people tell me that, oh, the only reason he's got X, Y, and Z is because he's black. And they're looking for a black person to feel this, this particular thing or whatever. Yeah. So, but the thing people would understand about me if they knew me is that I'm far from the token anything. You talk about staying in your own lane. I always am in my own lane. I always do whatever I feel. I always do whatever I want. I don't ask for permission from nobody to do anything. So for me to be a token anything is always going to be way off track, way off key. So that's number one. And then the second part of that is on the flip side of that, from saying he's only getting this because he's black. Well, what about the other black people? Why didn't they get it?
Yeah, exactly.
What separates me from them? If that is truly your excuse, what separates me from them? And so I just had to process that a little bit myself and internally, because I'm not gonna lie, like some of the things that were said at first, they hurt me and it really got to me and it really upset me. And I even started to question, well, damn, is some of this stuff true? That may be, that people may be saying about me. And so I had to, kind of check myself on that. And I had to realize that, no, it's not that. It's that somebody is always going to find an excuse to be in an excuse to say why you're in a position that they should feel that they should be in. I truly believe that that's where the hatred truly stems from. And so if that's the case, if people want your position, make them want it even more.
That's right.
Make them want it even more. And I always try to highlight how hard I work, not to say, oh, look at me, look how hard I work. And I do that to motivate other people, and so people can never have the excuse to say that I'm an overnight success or that I had something handed to me. I don't work for the thing that I want. So I just want to encourage other people that if you are in a position of prominence or a position that you work for, be proud of that. And don't back down from that no matter what anybody says. And that's all I'm going to say on that from a personal standpoint.
He has like steam coming out of his
ears,
y'all. Like,
I'm charged up in this studio. I'm charged. I had to get mine out first in case we ran out of time.
That was good though. That was
That's
great.
cool, man. I remember when we first started this show, man, and we first put up the Facebook page. Somebody, said the photo was inappropriate for Facebook.
What photo was it?
It was our logo.
It was the logo.
I remember screenshotting and sending it to the Giants.
Yeah.
I'm like, some people are trying to.
Inappropriate.
Yeah. And so for me, I knew from that point that the show was going to be a success, because people was already hating on it, trying to get the page shut down. But that just goes to show that we are on the right path, man.
Right.
And I know for me, a story that I have is, back when I was in college, man. A lot of people that know me know that we was just big time party guys, big time party promoters. And so during the college time, man, we'd always get hated on by different organizations or other groups that's doing events. They would go around and, say things to people about us, or they would go to the school and say, hey, these guys are promoting and putting flyers on the cars and putting doors, like, just because we were so successful at what we did. And for me, it never was a situation where we were funded by organizations.
Right.
Everything that we did came out of pocket. So, of course, we're going to give it 110% because we got to get that money back.
Right.
And so it was more like war to us whenever we had to go to battle about different events that we did, because we had so much negativity against us.
Right.
We had probably 5 organizations, trying to team up against us at once, and we would still have 500, 600 people at an event. And so I say that to say, man, it's just you got to prevail through it, man. You can't sit back and just allow them to be successful in their efforts of bringing you down or saying the negative things they're saying.
Especially if you're doing the right thing and you're going about your business the right way.
Forward,
That's
man.
right.
At the end of the day, man, like you say, you stay in your own line, you do what you need to do.
It don't matter.
Do what's passionate and keep moving.
That's right. That's right. T, what you got for us?
My thing is, I guess when I first started my radio show and stuff, I got a lot. Even before then, when I was kind of like doing some parties and events and stuff like that, and kind of being seen at different venues, people were like, she just just want to be seen, and she's married. Isn't she supposed to be at home with her kids and with her husband and stuff? Like, oh, you heard that too? You shaking your head to myself? Mm-hmm.
No, I didn't. I was just agreeing with you.
But
I would never.
But it can be hurtful. It can kind of hurt your feelings. But like you said, I have to just kind of concur that it kind of makes you put stuff in perspective. Like, well, is it true? Isn't it that true? Right. And when I lined it up to what my goals, I was like, no, I take care of home. I'm a very traditional wife and mother. I cook for my family 3, if not 4 times a week. I'm a manager of the home, nurturer my kids. So like, check. Eat? Okay, we can do that one day. Yeah, I'm a beast in the kitchen. So I had that in check, and then when they were like, well, she just wants to be seen, I was like, well, that's kind of true, because I got marketing and advertising background, so that's what I'm about. I'm about spreading brand awareness, promoting my brand. Right. And what they don't know is that a lot of my dreams, goals, and aspirations are for me to become a public figure, and for me to be on a bigger scale and on a bigger stage one day. So yeah, like that's what it is. Right. So and I always just deal with people by killing people with kindness, even when it's exposed that I know that this person, like, because I've had it known, like, I know that so and so don't like me, and I'll be the first to speak, hey, how you doing today? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't know how to take that. If I match your energy or negativity, what does that make me? You know what I'm saying? What does that put me? But if I kill you with kindness, you really don't have any ammunition against me. You can either speak or you don't, which I could give 2 flips about. Right. But I'm going to let you know that I am so unbothered by you.
Yep. That's it.
That's my feedback.
Because if they ever figure out that they're getting to you, then it's really going to increase. And then they want. And that's exactly what they want. Y'all, we are out of time. It's crazy how quickly that show went. And I agree with Tanisha 100%. We're gonna have to do a part 2 on this to just talk to the haters themselves, to try to get to the root of it, because this show is all about helping people achieve what they want to achieve and overcoming their barriers. And if you have hatred in your heart and you're a negative person in your heart, that's a barrier that you're gonna have to get rid of. If you're jealous of other people, that's a barrier that you're gonna have to get rid of before you can truly be successful. And so we are gonna we'll address that on another episode. So be on the lookout for that when we drop that. We will definitely announce it before we do so. Again, make sure that you follow us on our social media outlets at The Hustle Radio on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Drop us an email at thehustleradioshow@gmail.com. Again, that's thehustleradioshow@gmail.com. And if you're looking for a place to work on your idea, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday nights, we open up the Causeway Space downtown. Shoot us an email or hit us up on social media to find out more details about that as well. All right, and of course, I got to throw you out a slogan, as always. Start doing and keep going. Even if you've been hated on, keep going. The Hustle Radio Show, and we out here. Peace.
Peace.